And we should be live. What's going on, D-Bags? Hope you guys are doing well. We're back here again with another episode of the Detox Podcast, episode 279 to be exact. And if you're new here and enjoy music, podcasts, comedy, or hooping videos, do consider subscribing. We've got a whole bunch of that stuff going on around here. And when you do subscribe, leave a like or hang out with us in the live chat like you're going to do today. Helps us share conversations and laughs like this with more people, so do consider doing that. Now, before I can introduce you guys to my guest this week, I got to talk to you guys a little bit about vacations, all right? It's that time of the year. It's getting a little chilly outside. It's that masculine urge to be up in a cabin in the woods, maybe chopping wood, maybe on a snowmobile, on a canoe, on an icy river. Can you do that? I don't know. But let's be real. There's nothing better than a well-earned vacation. It feels good to just get away from it all for a bit and enjoy yourself. There's no better place to do that than with today's video sponsor, Alpine House 2. Alpine House 2 is a classic Swiss chalet duplex A-frame with a log cabin interior located directly across the street. And I mean directly across the street from the Ski Brûlée Resort in Iron River, Michigan. That's up in the UP for those of us that are geographically challenged like myself. Surrounded by forests, lakes, and rivers, Iron River more specifically is the destination for fishing, hunting, hiking, snowmobiling, etc. It's a ton of fun up there. They just finished their first 2-3 months were almost entirely booked up, thanks to some of you guys from the show, as well as others. So check out at Alpine House 2 on Instagram. That's at ALPINEHAUS 2 on Instagram to stay up to date with new renovations, bookings, etc. You can reach out to them, tell them Rita Detox sent you, and they're going to get you set up with a great vacation. So check them out. Shout out to Alpine House 2 for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. We got some people in the chat saying, we back, gang. Absolutely. What's going on, guys? With all that good stuff out of the way, though, I'm pumped to be kicking it with my guest this week. He's an extremely talented singer-songwriter who is genuinely crushing it in Milwaukee right now. Let's give a wet detox welcome to Micah Emrich.
Man.
He's here in the building.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. It's Micah Emrich, right? That's how you say it?
Emrich,
okay.
not Emrich.
Yeah, Emrich. Well, that's what I was explaining how to spell it earlier. I'm like, it's Emrich. That's how you spell it.
Yep, exactly.
But we were talking before we went live a little bit. We were I was relating to you've got the long hair going on. Musician with the long hair in the city of Milwaukee. It's getting cold outside. Is it easier the colder it gets for you, or is it worse? Because some people, my hair's curly, right? So in the summertime, it just turns into a poof.
Yeah, same. Right. Yeah, in the winter, it's maybe a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Maybe the fall time right now is a sweet spot.
This is probably the best time right now. These 2-3 weeks we're gonna have, but once it gets too cold, I do hate when I got this shit wet in the morning. And I walk out to a car, I'm walking to work, whatever, and it just freezes a little bit.
Yeah, I shower in the morning and sprint out the door. So I feel you there.
The wetness on your neck,
or your hair just freezes completely. You ever had that?
No. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that's the worst. That's actually you're just sometimes I used to walk to work. I still walk to work. I will be bartending half a day, and I'd still find a piece of my hair that's a little bit frozen on my neck, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? It's that cold in Wisconsin, I guess.
It is that cold in Wisconsin.
How long you been growing it out?
Since COVID 2020, I want to say.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Same
I feel like everybody did that. Everybody's
like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Why not, dude? Are you ever gonna cut it, you think?
Maybe. I'm kind of waiting for the moment. We were talking about it maybe a little bit before, but I feel like every artist has that moment, and I feel like I need to break through first. Yeah. And then shave the head. That's the
Do you ever have a day where you're just man, I want to buzz it. I want to buzz it off.
Sometimes maybe when I'm eating.
Yeah.
I don't put my hair up enough. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's better for it.
Yeah. So I don't put it up that often, and so I just get pissed off when I'm trying to eat a sandwich or something, and it's in my way.
Yeah.
So
it does feel like that's something I've always described it if I'm stressed out or eating specifically I don't know why eating is stressing me out, but if I have my hair down and I'm eating, dude, it just feels like there's two people watching me. And they're really close.
I'm over here like this, in gremlin mode.
Yeah. I'm time. Please get out of my face. I want to eat this, whatever it is. But I mentioned that you're a singer-songwriter, crushing it in Milwaukee. Dropped a new project back in June, right? June of this year, was it? Or July? Yep, June, July. Yep. The summer. And that was Promises, right?
Yes, sir.
Promises, the new track, which I actually linked down below. It should be in the description. Your link tree should be in there. So if they want to check out any of the stuff we're referencing today, they can do that. But tell me a little bit about it, man. So you dropped this in the summertime. We're a few months out. How does it feel to have basically birthed this album? Because that's what sometimes it feels like as an artist. You're just get it out of here.
This one feels really good because I've been working on it for so long. Honestly, I've been working on this one in the background, not like the whole time I've been working on the project, 'cause I've been working on other stuff in the meantime, but about 3 years I've just been like collecting songs that I felt like resonated, and the project kind of like formed on its, I don't want to say on its own. At one point I was like, I had the idea of Promises and was like, let's make it the project, but I've just been working on it for such a long time, and I've had some of these songs in my back pocket for that long that it just feels good to finally get them out. And I don't know, sometimes when you hold on to songs for too long, it's like,
They
I don't know
lose
if
their magic a little bit.
not even that they lose it. It's cool because it's like when the magic comes back after a while, like that's how you know I feel like it's a good song, is if I still feel it like 3 years later or something. But yeah, just listening to them for so long, I feel like I needed to finally get them out because you need other people to like experience them at that point.
Is it weird when like you release it finally, and let's say some of those songs you were sitting on for a few years, and someone's like, oh my God, your new song is so good, and like you're probably working on new stuff already, I imagine. Is it weird that like friends of yours, maybe fans of yours are listening and experiencing it for the first time, and it's something that you've probably heard almost to exhaustion at this point for 3 years?
I mean, I don't feel like, at least for this album, it doesn't feel like, wow, holy cow, you like, because I put a lot into the songs. That being said, like I worked on them for so long because I was like really trying to form something that I had this vision for in my head, but I didn't quite know how to do it. So it just took a lot longer. But like I feel like with some of the stuff I put out before that, like the projects in the past that I've done, when people tell me like, oh my God, that's my favorite song. Some of the songs I first put out, like Miss Parker and stuff, some of my first releases, be like, that was like my favorite song of yours. I'm like, you haven't listened to the new shit yet? It's so much better.
Catch up, right?
But so that sometimes would be like,
that's weird. I imagine. That's cool though. That means something. There's something about even those older tracks that has some value. People, even though you probably feel like, oh, I've improved. I'm doing better. Like
everybody latches on to different things. It's weird, isn't it?
Why Promises? Why is that the title of the project?
I feel like it was just kind of about staying true to myself, and it took on a couple of meanings. Like I wanted to have a title that was just one word that like meant a lot of things. And so to me, Promises is like, on the surface level, it's a promise. I promise this to you, and something that you swear to someone, it's sacred. But then at the same time, it's like promises are broken too. So it's like there's that not spoken side of, there's on the surface level, it's like this sweet rose or something, but the rose has thorns or whatever. And so it takes you on this whole journey. And then it was also just like a promise to myself at the end of the day to like stay true to myself and just trust in the process and trust in good music and writing about what I want to write about and having fun with it, and not getting too lost in it. So
do you feel do you feel a pressure to like, or is it difficult maybe to stay yourself when you're writing music? Like, do you find that can be difficult as you're like maybe a song or a vibe that you were in the moment pursuing, and you are really proud of this track you made, like that one does really well, the reception is great. Do you ever feel like a pressure, like, oh, I have to do something similar to that, or should I just do what I want to do? Like,
kind of I don't know. It's weird to describe, because it's like I feel like right now I'm in the process of like honing in on a certain style, and I feel like it is because I put out a lot of different things, and it's almost like I call it like shit walling, like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And a little bit of it was like the experimental process for me of like just writing music, but also is like, all right, let me explore different sides of myself and kind of see what sticks. And right now I'm kind of in that process, so I don't feel like it gets old. I've had songs before that I've written that have done well that I don't feel like I'm as closely like resonating to. My actually most popular song, Closure, it did really well on it. It got put out like, or covered by a YouTube channel. They did a lyric video for it. It's called Common Sense, and so they put out the video, and it like directly translated like Spotify and streaming services, and it's my most streamed song, but I've never like performed it. But it's not like any disrespect to the song, it's just that I just personally don't want to perform. It's more like pop rock, and I just feel like I maybe am in a different realm. Not that I don't hit that sometimes, but I don't know. So.
I can get that. You can sort of, when you're doing something, and from looking and listening to some of your discography, right, it's you do dabble in a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and there's definitely multiple influences coming in. Obviously, some hip hop, obviously a little bit R&B. You got some pop in there too, and even a little bit on the new project. I'd say of like, I don't know if you call it like maybe a little bit of glitch stuff or a little bit of hyper pop, maybe a tiny bit of that in there.
Yeah.
So it's like doing all these different things, and maybe through over time you're just going to evolve. Your sound's going to evolve.
Yeah,
and maybe
right.
you won't feel like if you were going to perform this album. Right, I don't know that maybe Closure would fit in that set list.
Yeah,
you
right.
know? So I totally get what you're saying.
Right.
When I'm curious on this album, maybe Hell is a Better Place. Where's the inspo for a track like that come from? Because that's one of my favorites, I think.
Man, thank you. That one was crazy because it's almost like when I wrote it, we just kind of like blacked out. In a way, like I was hanging out with my one of like the people that I write a lot of music with and who plays guitar for me from a lot of times. We moved away. His name's Matt Lacey. And so him and I don't get to like meet up as often. So sometimes he'll come and play gigs with me because he's from Nashville.
Oh, okay.
And he'll drive up and sleep on my couch for a little bit and we'll play some shows and then he'll go back. So he was here for a trip like that. And we were practicing for like it was like a 2-3 hour acoustic gig that we had to play. And I was like trying to just get a lot of material together because that's like a long time to sing. I'd never played a gig that long. So we were just kind of like jamming and just finding progressions that were cool to maybe scat some stuff over. And that's how that song came about, was he started playing like the chord progression.
Wow.
I sang the lyrics, maybe Hell's a Better Place. And I was like, whoa, that's a song. Like that. When I said that, I literally told him, I was like, that's a song, whatever the meaning is. I personally grew up in like church. My dad was a pastor. So like, for me, it was just like, it almost felt like taboo, but it was like powerful in this new way of like, wait, I'm not supposed to be saying this, or like, this isn't something that I usually touched on before. Or like growing up, I felt like I couldn't say, or I couldn't talk about, but being able to connect it in not a way that's like about demons, hell burning, religion. It's more of just like the feeling, and like what goes along with like the imagery, or like what do you call it? Like the correlation of like heartbreak and maybe hell being a better place than that.
Yeah, the symbolism in that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. For someone that maybe hasn't heard the song yet, how would you like? What would you describe? I guess if you had to give somebody like a 1 or 2 sentence, like this is what this song is about.
I'd say the song is about love taking a turn with somebody, or somebody that you were close to, maybe falling in love with someone else and feeling the emotions that go through that.
And how hell might be literally a better place. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the tough part of going through that. But
yeah.
Yeah,
that can be hard, man. I'm curious, like, do you get a lot of, like, obviously we were talking off air, and I don't know if we can really get into it, but you're in a happy relationship, you're married.
Yeah.
When you write tracks like this, especially some tracks like this, right? Is that ever come up? Does she ever ask like, yo, what is this about?
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot in the past year, especially because like a lot of my songs tended to hit this like sassier, angsty kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because I've always been in relationships and a lover boy in middle school and all this stuff, and had a lot of random heartbreak and emotions as a kid, that I feel like I like led with my emotions and wrote a lot of songs about heartbreak naturally.
Yeah.
So it's just almost like easier, like nowadays, to keep doing that, or just to find that. Not saying that I don't write happy music, but
sure, yeah,
there's just something powerful about writing sad songs for some reason. I don't know.
And sometimes I feel like maybe sometimes like if you have the vantage point of being in something that's healthy, it can maybe highlight maybe instances, even whether or not it's personal experience, or it's just you observing things that happen out in other relationships, can almost maybe be easier for you to see those things.
Yeah, exactly. The perspective. I think that's the most fun I have in songwriting in general too, is just being able to portray the different perspectives. So yeah.
Do you write for other people ever?
Starting to a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, to an extent.
Yes and no?
I mean, it depends. If they're fun to work with, then yes. But like, there's some stuff where it's just a little bit more, here's this, do this, make it like this, and there's no interaction, which is cool. That's fine. It's like, honestly, just drilling and doing it in repetition and just making it happen. So it's not like I'm uncomfortable doing that, but it's more fun working with an artist who's like really talented and being more of a part of the process, you know?
Yeah. I kind of like, I mean, I've done a little bit of both where it's like even working with friends of mine in the studio and like writing for them, where it is a little freeing sometimes, I think, because you're like, you don't have, and maybe that's messed up of me to say, but it's like, I don't have the pressure of this being mine, you know, where it's like, I can almost, sometimes I'll write something and I'm like, fuck, that's so good. And I'm like, selfishly, I'm like, damn, I can't believe I came up with this for somebody else.
Like, I should be doing this.
But I think like you come up with those things, at least in my case, I've come up with sometimes better things for other people because I didn't have like the weight of it being my own thing. Like I was just like, I felt free to just like, oh, let's try this, or let's talk about this, or the idea for this track is this, and I don't usually write about that, so let me do that. And then all of a sudden, like, some of the best stuff comes out of it.
Yeah, right.
You know, it can be really interesting. So
yeah, just having the pressure taken off. Yeah, it's tough though too. I feel like that was the tough part that was maybe holding me back from writing with people before, is because I felt like everything I wrote, I wanted was like too personal. But that's been like part of my process in songwriting lately, just trying to get better at not being as personal all the time, you know?
Yeah, because it is a fine line, right? Where it's like you want to be, like there needs to be a reason that I'm coming to a Micah Emrich song versus any other artist, right? So there has to be some personal aspect, but it also has to be
can't be too
relatable,
much.
right? It has to be relatable. It can't be like you literally detailing what you ate for breakfast this morning and getting into that and how that, you know, whatever. So it has to be, you have to walk that line sometimes. I'm curious, you got the Unfinished Legacy on.
Yes, sir.
How many Unfinished Legacy shirts do you own, you think?
Because
I a lot. Shout out Unfinished Legacy.
Shout out Unfinished Legacy.
They're dope.
So sick.
But I know I've interviewed several artists from the city, and it's like everybody that's an artist in Milwaukee is repping Unfinished Legacy.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not? They're doing some cool shit. They're about community too. It's not just like necessarily like a cool shirt, even though they have a lot of cool shirts and pieces, you know, it's like they're also trying to build something around it. So I really like all the energy of all the people that are involved with them, and they've been really supportive too with like the music and stuff. So they popped out to my release show, and they helped print some of the merch that I did for this last project.
Oh, very cool.
So I gave them just like the designs and stuff, and they helped me get it printed and figure all that out, which was super clutch because it's kind of a not last minute thing, but I didn't necessarily know where to go. So
it's good if the fact that they're not just like what they could be, right? If they make a great product, they could just be like, man, we're about selling shirts, we're about selling clothes, right? But they, from everything I can see, they definitely do put on for smaller artists, especially like they're putting on for everybody in the city. I know even podcasts that are all repping their stuff. So I think it's cool. And kind of segueing from that, the city itself. So we're recording this in Milwaukee.
Yes, sir.
We're both from Wisconsin, right? Moved to Milwaukee now. What do you see in the scene in Milwaukee? What's got you excited about the scene in Milwaukee?
I mean, initially, I was in West Bend, and there's not shit going on in West Bend. So
no, there's not shit going on in most of Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin, but there's not shit going on in most of it.
So I knew a couple of people at the time when I was still living in West Bend that were here in Milwaukee. Shout out to Dwayne and Parker, Social Sig. They were over in Milwaukee, and I just saw them playing a lot of shows and like pursuing music on the level that I feel like I wanted to. So I was like, I need to get to Milwaukee. So initially it was just that. It was just the opportunity. Like there's shows there, and there's like more opportunity for growth. Yeah. And right now I'm kind of relying on the internet. In West Bend, and that's a tough thing.
And this you can still do it, right? There is that.
The internet's a powerful thing for sure.
But then Milwaukee, as it is, I do feel terrible that like we're talking about Milwaukee and the mics are totally picking up that there is some sirens going on outside. Hey man, police cars going. We are downtown. That is hilarious. We're like both like, Milwaukee is beautiful. I love Milwaukee, and it's just like Kia boys out here. Did you see Bobby Portis? Speaking of, did you see what happened to him?
No, what happened?
Dude,
what?
We gotta pull this up actually.
Oh no, is he okay?
Dude, so the Bucks have blown ass this season. To say the least. I love going to Bucks games. I'm a Bulls fan. I'm a Chicago sports fan. But I love going to Bucks games, and it's been great to root for them the past few years. Like when I get the chance to go to a game and whatnot. But Bobby Portis played for both teams actually. Won a ring with the Bucks. The Bucks have started terrible this season, and I guess during the game yesterday, they did a home invasion on Bobby Portis' house and stole a bunch of shit, including his championship ring.
Damn, no.
Yeah. Play this video. We got to get this video.
That's tough.
Down the one of him talking, right? Yeah.
That's so tough.
Yeah, he breaks it down. That's him. This is McKenna's favorite player on the Bucks because of his eyes.
Stop.
Because he has kind of crazy eyes.
Yeah, he's got the crazy eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
I always joke that my dog, my corgi puppy, that's his favorite player.
Yeah, shit. Dude, he's great. He's a good player. Like, no disrespect, but his eyes are intimidating. I would. Okay, turn it on. Just turn it on. We'll get the.
But that's why it works so good. You know, he's got the crazy eyes, throws you off.
He can see. Yeah, he can
hits.
see in a million different directions. Let's see. Yeah, get the reaction up there. I don't know if we'll be able to get. Will you be able to switch the audio so that we can hear it? Just click that, and then that guy there, and then just switch it to the
Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
all the way down.
Let's go.
The X one right there. Yeah. We should be able to hear it now, I think. Yes, this is Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. I'll give them the credit's due. They got the footage of those guys. That's what that first little clip was. I don't know if they're going to show. Are they not going to play his actual response?
They're just gonna
give. I have that.
While I was at my game yesterday, I had a home invasion, and they took most of my prized possessions. If you have any info regarding this, please send the info to info@bobbyportis.com.
Look at these kids, though. Not kids, probably grown men. I don't know. But yeah, dude, they broke in. I guess they stole like all his shit.
Man,
That's an NBA player.
that's tragic. How do
And you know, and I bet you Giannis is going to cite this as part of the reason he leaves at the end of the season. Because it is not looking good to be like. Again, I don't
it's
have
tough. We have all of the
pieces.
All of the pieces to be able to make some shit shake, and it's just not shaking. It's
It's
tough.
because you got Doc Rivers, bro.
Yeah, no, the first year I moved here was the year we won the championship, and I was living like 2 blocks away from the Pfizer,
That had
and
to
it
be
was
insane.
lit. It was so lit. So I'm trying to get back to that. That was another reason I feel like I moved here.
Yeah.
I was like, the Bucks are doing good.
They're killing,
My
dude.
friends are doing good right now with music.
Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, no disrespect, that title was. I mean, they were not picked to win that title, and they balled out in the playoffs, right? And they got there's a little bit of stroke of luck with the KD and the foot on the line thing, but like, dude, Giannis played out of his mind in those playoffs. That run, right? That was a crazy ring.
Chris Middleton,
dude, yeah, they were balling up,
crazy.
but they should have been set. Like, I don't understand how the front office doesn't go, okay, we're gonna go all in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get like 1 or 2 more people. Like, they should have gotten Dame or someone then. It shouldn't have been like they waited. They waited to basically
like, we're
sit
good.
Giannis 2 years in the playoffs, which is why they keep getting bounced in the playoffs, because they're like, oh, he's sore. He's got a ankle, and I know it was more than him just being sore, but it's like, dude, he can play.
Yeah.
I know he's 60-70%, but if we're trying to win a title now, is he not? It's the playoffs. This is the rest of the season. There's no other season after that. Like, there's nothing else, and he sits and they lose to Miami, and then I don't even know who they lose to Indiana
Miami.
this year.
Yeah.
It's just they just
Indiana
look
was
bad.
tragic too, because there was a lot of beef between Milwaukee and Indiana this last year.
Because of Tyrese Halliburton, he's from Milwaukee. He's like from the Milwaukee area.
Really?
Yeah, I
didn't
think
know that.
Waukesha or something.
I just know I was at the game where Dame hit like he got into the top 5, I think,
three-pointers,
and then Giannis dropped like 64 or something, and then they didn't get the game ball or something.
Yeah,
and like Bobby Portis and them like went into didn't they pull up on him?
Yeah, so it was a big deal because I don't actually know who ended up getting that game ball. And maybe I can look that up here in a second. But so it was Giannis broke the franchise record, I think, for scoring, or his career high or whatever, which would typically mean you get the game ball, or something like Dame Lillard like passing a threshold of going into the top 5 for 3-pointers made all time. Like, that's something you get a game ball for. But something that's sort of and typically like trumps all of that is like any player's first NBA points.
Yeah, right.
And I guess there was a rookie on the Pacers that got his first points
that
game.
Right.
So, Giannis and the Bucks were making a big deal out of it, which I get it. You want the ball, but like,
you're like,
I'm sure Giannis has his rookie
here.
points. Yeah, like he has his ball from his rookie game, like whatever he scored his first points. So like, a part of me was like, dude, you scored 50 in the finals. Like, I'm sure you have that ball. Like, how many more do you need, man? Just play good next week and
right.
get it again. I don't know.
Right. That's a good point.
But yeah, no, I do remember that game being a whole big deal, and they choked
scrapping,
against them. Yeah, dude, the Indiana fucked them up.
Crazy.
But yeah, it's tough being a Bucks fan. I don't even know how I got to the Bucks.
Milwaukee. Let's go.
Milwaukee and the Sirens. Yeah, we're done with the Sirens now. But yeah, dude, Milwaukee is cool, and from what I've seen, there is quite a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And they got the MIAD, the School of Art or whatever that's here, and then you've got the other colleges, and plus Pabst is out here doing their thing with the venues and everything. So I think there's like a lot of spaces and a lot of people to kind of fill that creative hole if you had it from living somewhere else.
There's like a infrastructure here, but it's not like to say it's necessarily the biggest. Like, there's definitely avenues I feel like that are to be like desired.
Sure, things that could be better. What's something that you think you'd like to see as someone who's now been living in the city for a few years, pursuing music and doing a pretty damn good job at it? What would be something you'd like to see in the city of Milwaukee?
I don't know. I feel like there could be a little bit more coverage of things, or just like exposure with press. There's a lot of people maybe trying to do it, but there's not a ton of people that can maybe offer the opportunities or the type of exposure that artists really need.
Yeah.
But there's a couple good places, like Radio Milwaukee is a really good
I think they do a great job.
Yeah, they help out a lot with the community, and that's like a super supportive person. And I'm trying to get tapped in with more people. I know like Milwaukee Magazine and Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
Yeah.
They've done some things as well and like helping, but there could definitely be more of that.
Yeah, I think more willingness from maybe some of those bigger names in and around the city of Milwaukee would be cool to see.
Do you think because we're getting that new venue that it's gonna like help out? Do you have any opinions of that?
That's the one that it's not Live Nation though, is it?
I think it is. I think it's about to be Live Nation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's gonna suck because that's Live Nation.
Yeah.
That's it. So I don't have. I mean, I don't know. I don't claim to know everything about this topic, but I will say, Live Nation typically I skew against.
Typically they suck.
Yeah, they've kind of low. And I know, like, for instance, the Rave, which is an independent company, I know they specifically like don't want this to go through because I think they have a deal, like they're sort of like they're not with Live Nation, but they sort of have like a back deal with them where a lot of like acts, because there isn't a Live Nation specific stage here, so they go through the Rave. So if there is a Live Nation specific thing, they're going to go there, which is going to
take away from the Rave.
Take away from the Rave. It's also going to take away from like all of Pabst venues that do, like, I mean, they have from like the Vivarium up to
have
huge
Live
rooms.
Nation?
I mean, I'm sure they have people that are through Live Nation.
Yeah,
because
that's my only thing, I guess, that I could see it being like a big plus for. Is to build more infrastructure, just because like there is probably a lot of artists that aren't coming here.
Yeah.
Like we got the Pfizer now.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are like a good amount of artists. Like,
I was at the Drake show last summer, and that's the first time he was here. And like that's crazy.
Lil Wayne was just here, you know, like this last week, I think.
That was like a pop-up show.
Yep.
Like it wasn't even it was like it's happening.
Yep. Even seeing like Nicki Minaj and just some of those really big artists coming here. So that's good, but I think that on like even like there's some of those artists that maybe aren't playing the big arenas that could be coming through the cities that'll help bring out.
Yeah.
Maybe put
Do you know
Milwaukee
how big
on the
it's
map
supposed to be?
more. I think they're making like a small to medium size, and then like a medium to large size. So I think it's gonna be like, I mean, I'm not 100% right, but like something along like 1,000 or less for the first one, and then like up to 5,000 for a different one or something like that. And then the Pfizer's right across the street, so it's like the 3 different size venues there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I got iffy feelings with it too, because I definitely am for the community and I don't want to see anybody hurting from it.
Yeah, like I don't want to see like smaller clubs. Like, I mean, the Rave they're fine. Like they're a big club. They're independent, but they're big. They do fine. But even like stuff like the Cactus Club and I mean, I just did a show. I mean, you've done a show at the Vivarium too, I think, right?
I played a show there, not my own show, but yeah.
But it's I mean, it's a cool fucking spot too. Like I think
sick.
like, and that's something that like Pabst, obviously they're gonna have national acts come through there too, but that's sort of like their, I guess, more local acts can get that room a little bit easier, you know? So like I would only be, the thing that makes me a little nervous about it is like, if you're just gonna build this big thing solely for Live Nation acts, that could be, I mean, I don't know. It's just another gatekeeper, like another great venue that like the average person, if you're not like within the music scene, is going to be like, oh, this is cool. Like I go see whatever name I go see there, and you're spending money there. Live Nation's making all this money.
Yeah, right.
But like it's not really bleeding back into smaller artists at all.
I mean, I don't think what Live Nation's doing is good, but at the same time, they are like the gatekeepers. So it's almost like it's this weird thing, 'cause it's like as an artist, like you want to get to certain levels, so you almost have to start to go with certain things, whether you want to or not. You know what I'm saying? So like there are the powers that be. I can't control that. You know,
you have to like play the game until you're big enough. To be like, I'm not playing that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. So that's the tough part. I see both sides, I guess, because I'm like, hopefully maybe there's more opportunities to open up for people.
Bigger acts.
I don't know, but. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe they just hire Live Nation people and we're all fucked. Like.
That would suck. Which I mean, in some cases that's what I've heard that they do. So I hope that they don't do that. If the venue does come, dude, there's supposed to be Milwaukee. I keep hearing like Milwaukee's got all this stuff like in the pipeline.
Surface,
we got like the soccer stadium is supposed to be done over here soon. That keeps getting pushed back. They got. I heard that they want to like. I mean, I know they just added the 2 new buildings to the skyline, and they want to add like 40 to 50,000 new residents in the next 3 to 5 years. And I love Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We're singing its praises. It's a beautiful city. It's a really walkable city. I think there are some really cool things on the creative side going on. But there's not enough to do, man.
Yeah, right.
Past 8 p.m. Like we need past 8 p.m.
Yeah,
there's some cool spots, but there's not many of them.
It's a lot of bars.
Bars is it.
And I'm not like a big bar guy. I don't know about you.
Me either.
I mean, yeah.
What are 50,000 more people gonna do? Downtown.
Go to more bars.
Go to more bars. Go to the Live Nation venue, I guess. Maybe that. No.
That's why they're building the soccer stadium.
Yeah, hopefully I hope that happens, man. I hope that happens. Speaking of Milwaukee, and we'll sing its praises a little bit more. What's maybe a favorite spot or destination of yours that maybe drums up some inspiration potentially for creative? Just puts you in a good mindset.
I don't know. I like being downtown. I work downtown, so like I'll just walk around there, the market, honestly, the area that we're kind of like in-ish now, just being around downtown area and just, I don't know, exploring that.
It's
cool,
nice, dude.
Cool architecture. The river's nice, even though it looks like shit. It literally looks like shit.
It does look like shit, and it does smell bad sometimes.
Yeah, I would never jump into it. True story, I saw from my work window them fish out a dead body one time, and I was like, oh, wow, it's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday in Milwaukee.
Scooping dead bodies out of the Milwaukee River.
Crazy shit. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee specifically, I believe Milwaukee's river was specifically used as like a dump. Like we just dumped sewage in it. That makes sense. Shit. Like,
it looks like it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to take a long time.
Chicago's apparently, because it looks nice, but I think it's all like, it's like a facade.
Oh, they're putting shit in there?
Yeah, they're putting a lot of shit
Maybe we should steal some of that. We should steal some of that. It would help out a little bit. But yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie, like I love Bradford Beach. It's probably like if you haven't been to Milwaukee, and like I think we're spoiled that we have Bradford Beach. Like I know other people they have their other favorite beaches in Milwaukee. I know there are some nice ones, but the fact that we have Bradford Beach.
We got beaches,
like, we're in the Midwest. Like it's cold as shit most of the year, but dude, but during the summer, I'm at Bradford Beach basically every day during the week, Monday through Friday.
I didn't go to the beach enough until this like last year. I feel like I went to it a lot. Atwater. It's another spot that like the friends would have us pop out at too. It's a little more like low key.
Yeah.
I feel like I really like walking like the river walk too.
Yeah.
Back by like the public market and all that stuff. That's like a fun space to be in.
Oh yeah.
I get coffee from that Collectivo over there like every day. So that's like my daily walk. I always say it's like my meditative morning walk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Where's a good spot for artists if someone's moving to Milwaukee and they're an artist? Where's a good spot for them to meet other artists at?
To meet other artists?
Yeah.
Honestly, like shows. Going to some of the local shows, like you brought up Cactus Club before.
Yeah.
That's a good venue that puts on a lot of like local bills, I feel like. And just looking into it, before I moved here, I mean, I don't know about you, but I was like gung-ho on trying to figure out like, okay, who is here that's like in my scene a little bit more. You know, I want to find the people that maybe I could work with. And so I Googled like Milwaukee artists or like Milwaukee artists to look out for.
Yeah.
People who are on the rise and stuff like that. Who are you finding? I found this one artist that I worked with day 2, and he moved now. He's over in San Francisco now, but he was a songwriter, and he also makes music, but him and I worked together. He was doing songwriting and production with me and stuff, and Gego Inoni, if you've heard of them.
No.
They're a Latin group. I saw them before I was moving to Milwaukee as like an up-and-coming emerging artist or something through like a an article, which is another reason why articles and press is so important.
We need
like,
more of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can look up and see what's going on here.
Yeah. I feel like it's hard. That's like one thing that like I try to be super like generous with my time when I do something with like I know there's definitely people that will like start an Instagram page or something and try to like cover more local things.
Yeah,
but,
right.
I know that can be really hard, and then it can very quickly turn into like, well, these are the only people that sent me something, so I have to post these people, and I know that can kind of be dicey. But yeah, we need more. We just need more articles. We need more people posting and talking about.
I just think that it comes down to Milwaukee's like a small big city, right? You know, so it's like
we're right in between. It's like, I mean, we're in between Madison and Chicago, and I think like culture-wise, size-wise, it's kind of similar to that. It's like sort of a love child of those two, you know. So, okay, what if somebody's getting into music, as someone who, how long have you been doing music, by the way?
Like my whole life, I'd say.
Okay, if you could say, when was the first song dropped?
Releasing music, like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
At this point, yeah.
And so let's say someone comes up to you, they come up to you at your next show, right? When is the next show, by the way? Should we plug it?
Yeah.
It's linked in your link tree, I think, right?
Yep. So I got the homecoming show November 29th, and that's in West Bend at the Ben Theater, which is like, it's like, it used to be an old movie theater. That when I was very young, I was like 6 or 7, I saw a movie there. There was nobody in the theater but me and my family. So it's kind of run down. They made it into a venue space like way later. So it's kind of cool, kind of random, kind of full circle. You're playing it with
all West Bend dudes.
Yeah, so we're playing it with Dwayne and Social Sig. Yeah. So it's going to be a really cool like homecoming show day after Thanksgiving. Yeah. We're hoping to potentially make it, I don't know, maybe make it like an ongoing thing depending on how it does, if people are actually in town for it, you know.
That's cool though, man. That'll be fun.
I think that Parker wanted to originally have it on like the day before Thanksgiving. I think it's Wednesday then. But they had a Taylor Swift dance party that they already booked.
Shit,
and I was like,
damn,
we got beat out by a DJ playing Taylor Swift.
A DJ, not even her, bro.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like, Taylor Swift is killing it right now.
Yeah, dude. I know some people that'll be there. That's insane. Okay, so let's say someone comes to they skip the Taylor Swift show and they come to this homecoming show. They come up to you afterwards and they're like, Micah, I want to get into music. I got all these ideas in my head. I know I can do something. What do I got to do? What would be what shouldn't they do? I guess what shouldn't they do?
They shouldn't fester so long that they don't put music out. I think that's the biggest advice that I have, is to not get like too in your head. Like, obviously take the time and care about it and write the songs, but I feel like sometimes people, I don't know, they just go back and forth. Or maybe it's a thing in the mix that they don't like, or maybe it's a lyric that they don't like that they want to change like a year later or something. And it's like you and I were talking about, you can like, the songs can kind of eventually lose their magic, and when you let the song lose their magic for too long, you just end up sometimes not putting it out as much.
Laptop.
Yeah,
it just sits on the laptop.
And one thing I always really tried to do was just keep going and let the story, like right now I'm trying to kind of like hone in a little bit more, but before it was just like, I want the story to unfold how it's supposed to unfold. So let me just put out music. Let me not focus too much on that. Let the story be what it is just by me putting it out, you know.
And see what comes, right? Where it's like you don't know what, I mean, especially if I'm just starting out, right? I have no idea. Maybe I have an idea in my head of what I want my sound to be, but it's like when you're starting out versus where you are right now, I imagine if we played a song side by side, we're gonna maybe there'll be some similarities, but it's like it's an evolution, right? And you're gonna get better at the thing. So I definitely agree with that too. I would just say start like, just try to finish a song as quickly as possible. Finish one song.
I think a lot of people get in their head too about like, I need to be able to produce the song and write the song and record the song and mix the song, and they just try and take on too many things, and it is discouraging because there's a lot to learn. And like, I have a guy who mixes my music. Shout out Bean Boy Bass, my guy Bean Boy, and he does like engineering for me at times. I do a lot of my own vocal engineering at this point, but like, it took a while of just like working with people and trusting that. So like, honestly, when I first started off, I just got into a studio that knew what they were doing a little bit more. Yeah. And I came to them with my project ideas, and they were able to help me execute it. And like you said, it gets better and better and better, but I had to like go there first and learn and just be through the process in the first place. So
Yeah.
I think you just got to do it, and it'll get better, and you'll figure it out along the way, you know?
Yeah, 100% agree, man. I think like sort of in there where it's like you sort of did this maybe with or without knowing it, where it's like you took what you could control and you found the quickest path to just let me do that. You were like, you knew that you realistically didn't have the time to learn 20 different things, which is what it takes to put out music, you know? You were like, let me go to a studio and I'll trust these people's expertise, and then I'll do the thing that I'm good at, and then, which at that time is having the ideas, laying the vocals down, doing that, and through being close to these people, you learn those other things over time, right? Yeah. So I think, I always say, like, when it comes to anything, dude, if someone's trying to start something, find like the easiest, stupidest version of it. Yeah, right. And do that as fast as possible. Yeah. Because just the first thing is like the hardest. It's the heaviest. And I've had a good amount of people ask me too, like, can I come, like, they want to come and just like watch me do it or something, which is like fine, but it doesn't that feel like it's tough? I'm like, don't watch me do it. Like, don't look at me while I'm doing this thing. So it's just like, you just they don't know what my process is like. What if I'm naked in there? Yeah. What if
we're going crazy.
You know, like what if you have no idea what me and whoever is in the studio with me get into. What if we got a funnel? What if putting people over the table? We got lube, everything. Dude, doing the butt chugs. Yeah, some butt chugs. You don't know. I mean, you don't know what. They have no idea what you need to get into the mindset to make an album like Promises, right? Maybe it's butt chugging. That's the secret. That's the promise you made. That's the promise. And there's a song called Secrets. So, shit, man. That's what it is. Kind of speaking of, dude, what would you do if a fan came up to you and told you that they have been pleasuring themselves to your music? What would be your reaction to that? I'd have to, like, give them a high five. Yeah. I don't even know. What do you... Like, what? I don't know, man. Like, let's say, like... I'd ask them, was it good? Yeah. Yeah. I'd probably ask if they're okay first, I think. I would offer maybe someone in my crew to give them a hug because I don't want to touch them. Right. Yeah, right. But I would respect it, though. Yeah, good taste. Feel a poke or something. Yeah, depending on what song, too. That would actually determine how I would feel about that. Yeah, maybe me being that was me being selfish by saying, was it good? Because I want to know if the music did it for them or not. But yeah, I just want to make sure they're okay. I want to make sure they're good, man. I'm like, this person is not sane. But yeah, good taste in music though. Yeah. Good taste in music if they're beating it to that, So I respect that actually. Maybe don't high five them because you don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where it's been. That's what I'm saying. I have one of the people that I'm with. That's maybe tough. Have them do it and elbows. Yeah, maybe elbows could be a little bit better. All right, I'm curious. So. Has a breakup in the past? I know you said you're a lover boy. You've written. I mean, even listening to your songs, right? You got a lot of sass in there, some angst, right? Has a breakup ever influenced a song? Because I don't know how long you've been with your partner. I've been with my partner. We're high school sweethearts. So we've been together for like 8 years. Okay. 8.5 years at this point. So, not like a lot of recent heartbreak. Yeah. Maybe experiences. Like obviously being in a relationship, there's like the highs and lows, and we're married, so like we've had a lot of like the tough conversations or like had to face some of those boundaries or things that maybe when you're just in a relationship you're just kind of like floating past or just letting it be. But we've battled a lot of those things, and so I've had like songs formed because of that. But I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, has she ever pressed you on a lyric? Has she ever come to you and been like, Micah, what is this? Kind of. She's been like, I like it, but it's so sad. And I'm like, that's just how I feel, Yeah, that's hard, man. That happens. Like I said, I was just like an emotional kid growing up. So I feel like I wore my heart on my sleeve. And, I just naturally liked a lot of that type of music, too, because of that. You know? You're an artist, so you're going to feel like you're going to feel deeply. And that's going to come out, whether it's I don't know if you get this way, but when I'd like a song, I'd listen to it like 20 times on repeat. When I was a kid, especially, I'd be like so like in that vibe. So for me, too, it's almost like giving back to that, like that was me and that still is me a lot of times. And I know that there's a lot of people who it helps and is powerful to like sit in that moment and just be, Yeah, and even if I'm not sad, sometimes just listening to like a sad song or a song with it, just heavy emotion. Right? It doesn't have to necessarily be like sad or depressing or whatever. It could be, I don't know, even melodramatic. Like it could be whatever. But just having something where it feels like I can feel that person coming through a little bit. you know, I could be in the best mood ever.
Because it's crazy, because it's like after I write a song like that, it's like I don't feel sad at all. I feel so stoked, honestly. I'm like so happy. I'm like, that was so cool that I got, maybe it's just from getting it out or whatever it is. But so that's why I guess that it doesn't maybe hit me or register on that same level. Like, I'll look at the lyrics sometimes, be like, oh,
yeah,
like that is a lyric for
you're
sure.
Like putting them into the distributor. You're
yeah,
like doing the lyrics. You're like, oh shit,
like,
that is depressing.
Yeah,
that is morbid. Yeah,
but no, she's definitely like brought up to me like, what does this mean? You know, and we've gotten into maybe some heated conversations and me being like, it's not like that. I swear to God, this is just what I'm trying to say. And but that's good. I don't know. It's been some good conversations come out of it. You know?
No, we've had that too. For sure.
My wife's really understanding, luckily. So shout out my wife for putting up with my shit. And
shout out your wife. I respect it. Would you ever dedicate an album to her like Chance the Rapper did? Would you ever maybe do that?
Yeah, that's maybe, you know, on the horizon.
Okay.
We're like working our way.
Yeah. Be careful though, because people get weird with the "I love my wife" stuff.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful.
I loved J. Cole "For Your Eyes Only." I thought that was such a cool album.
That was a divisive album, I think, reception-wise, right? Like some people really liked it, other people didn't. Yeah.
A lot of people hate it. They're like, "This is garbage," and I was like, "Baby, I want to fold clothes for you."
That song is good. That song is straight up good. Yeah.
So,
did you like Chance's though? The Big Day.
I didn't listen to it enough as I should have, and maybe that was.
Yeah. There's a couple
because it got swept under the rug a little bit more.
It got destroyed online.
You know?
And it is fun to make. It's fun to make fun of because there's a guy that like made this song that he's impersonating Chance, and it is literally just called "I Love My Wife." And it is hard sometimes when certain songs on that album will come on, like if someone else has them or something. I hear it on shuffle. My mind just goes to "I love my wife," and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I can't even listen to it.
Yeah, see, like, that's tough. I don't know if I can go that far. I've had songs that are definitely like dedicated to her.
Sure,
you know,
about
it, but yeah.
Well, maybe never say never.
Yeah,
maybe "I Love My Wife" Part 2.
We're getting on the Justin Bieber. Speaking of never say never, I'm kind of moving in a Justin Bieber direction lately. So maybe I'll have to do some like never say never.
Some like 2000s, 2010s.
Like
Justin Bieber. Oh, okay, hell yeah, man.
2010, kind of even like just pop R&B.
Yeah,
just hitting that pocket a lot more. Yeah, that's kind of what I grew up on though. I don't know about you or like what you were into growing up. I feel like in 6th grade for me was when Justin Bieber was like breaking out, and it was all the guys like, he sucks. And so like there was like a brief moment where I was like, he sucks, because I was dating this girl and she was like, oh, he's so cute. Yeah, I was like, no, he's not, I'm cute.
Yeah. It is so disrespectful though, bro. It's like it's so one of those things, and I've seen this on so many levels. Okay, it's when Justin Bieber was coming out, right? Like you could be dating a girl and she'll be like, I love Justin Bieber. And it's the same thing today, right? I've been dating my girlfriend a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Styles, anything. Yeah. If she hears his voice, we could be in the middle of the deepest conversation. She could hear his voice over, what's going on with Harry? What's happening? Right? Whatever, right? And I've seen it where we lived with her parents for a couple of years, and I remember her, I don't know if it was, her mom would like find a actor or something attractive on the TV, and it's like normal practice, just be like, he's so cute, and you just, husband's right there, just gotta take it, bro. You just gotta listen to this woman hype this man up.
It is what it is.
And you just gotta take that, dude. So like, I hated Justin Bieber too for sixth grade, I think was at the same time.
6th grade, and then I was like, I started listening to the music, because I didn't listen to music yet, and I listened to music, and I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like me right now. Like I have a high voice, you know, like I shouldn't knock it. So not saying it sounds like me, but at the time it was like the music that I felt like I could sing. You know?
Yeah. I mean, he's phenomenal. I love Justin Bieber now.
Like I performed "You Smile" at my 7th grade talent show.
Yeah. Really?
Yep. I jumped off the stage. I like touched a girl's chin and everything. Wow. It was a wild experience. That was like the come up. I'm just trying to make sure that I didn't peak in 7th grade.
Yeah. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. Maybe you got to cover some new stuff. Maybe cover Peaches. Maybe Peaches would go hard. I think you could do Peaches.
I actually the 13th. So next Wednesday, I'm dropping a cover of "Eeny Meeny" by Sean Kingston and Justin Bieber. But I don't do the full song, but I'm doing like a good chunk of it.
Yeah. That's
a little
neat,
rendition, kind of like, I'd say like Somo vibes of like doing cover songs or bringing back. I want to bring back more of like those pop songs that I grew up listening to
that you like,
and give them that like more R&B or pop songwriter, singer, like more intimate vocal kind of feel to it. So
strip it back a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fun, dude. Yeah, that's real cool. It's actually insane that you say you performed a Justin Bieber song at your 7th grade talent show, because at my 8th grade talent show I performed a Justin Bieber song.
Which one?
I think it wasn't Baby. It was like it was a deep cut, dude, because this one guy who's on my basketball team like swore he hated Justin Bieber. And we were doing this, then we were doing this ironically. But like, I thought we were. So then he got me and one of my other friends to join him. We were like, we're gonna perform at the talent show. And I'm like, okay, dude. It was supposed to be like ironic. And I'm like, what song are we doing, Baby or whatever? And he like pulled some deep cut out. It's on Facebook somewhere. I'll find it. I'll text you after. But
so
like,
he liked Justin Bieber.
He had to have, because there's no way. I don't know the name of the song off the top of my head. But we performed it. We sang it. And I remember we did like this is the worst part about it. We did a video like the days before the talent show. It was like a preview where we did like the first like 40 seconds or something. And in that preview, I'm 8th grade, right? I'm 12, 13 years old. Myself and I think one of the other guys, we took our shirts off the end and started like doing like a thing. Oh, so bad. And people started chanting at the talent show for us to take our shirts off. And we didn't do it. Because the teachers were already really angry with us. But
you should have just done it.
Did you win? Did you win?
So the thing is, it was kind of a lame talent show because there wasn't any winners because they didn't want to hurt kids' feelings. But like, so the way they did it was they had you try out, and then they like put it in an order. I was the closer.
So you won.
So I won.
You won. Yeah. Dude, so they set ours up similarly, but it was like, so it was different judges did the tryouts than did the actual ones. So like, based on where you performed, so similar to yours, that was like where the other judges thought you were. And then the other the actual judges like picked. So we were last for like when we performed, but they picked the girl who was before us who actually sang. She was great.
Damn.
So she deserved it. But yeah.
I was really fortunate too at the end when they were like, make some more noise for everybody, and at the end they said my name and I like ran up to the front and I was like, please God. I was like, everybody's screaming. No, it was lit, honestly. It was one of those weird moments where like the announcers, because I have always sang. That's always been a thing that I've done, and I've been pretty like.
Are you like known
out
as
in
that?
the open about it? Like I used to when I was younger. Like I'd walk around. Like even I grew up in church, and so my dad was the pastor, and so I'd always had to like stick around for a while. So I'd always just be like the kid running around because my mom was the worship leader and my dad was the pastor. So like they're occupied, and then there's just like little Micah running around trying to get it. I was like always trying to like sing for people for like a couple of dollars. I'd be like, give me $2 and I'll sing for you real quick. And I remember one time I like raised enough money to get this video game. It was like a Lord of the Rings video game for the original Xbox. My brother was like, oh, I want it so bad. And I was like, how much is it? He was like, $25. I was like, bet. And I got $25. My mom and dad made me like give money back because they're like, you can't take money from people. We're at church right
yeah, dude, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is like looking back, but I was just a kid and I was like,
hustling,
I was just looking for a way.
That was God's plan. At the end of the day, he allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, dude. Are you still pretty religious, or is it like
not necessarily? My dad honestly stepped down from the pulpit when I was like 20, so he's no longer a pastor. And like, not to say that I wasn't necessarily religious growing up, but I wasn't also like religious. I kind of was like in between, just neutral with it, and didn't really know what to believe. I had like questions, but was like heavily around church and in church, so I kind of had to like put up the front that I knew everything that was going on in a way.
You probably are, I'd imagine, knowledgeable on
to an extent
church things.
Yeah, I feel like more knowledgeable than most, but like I can't go just like reciting the Bible. Like my dad didn't like force that on me necessarily. I always had to go to church, and I always had to like be a part of the youth group or like the children's service or whatever, and just like kind of be in those things, but never. I played in a church band, so that was like the fun side of it for me.
Yeah.
It was like,
wow, that's cool. I mean, respect to your dad too, being a pastor and not shoving that down your throat.
I mean, like we were around religion a ton, don't get me wrong. Like I had to be there every Sunday, and I had to like not be too much of a dumbass because he's a pastor and he's like, dude, you know, like
that'll look bad for him.
You look bad for me. So, but yeah, it's not like he was like, you need to read this every night before you go to bed. So I appreciate that too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that
I've heard a lot of like worse stories of other people going through situations that were similar and not having the same experience. So.
Wow. Yeah. That's cool, dude. I know one kid that was, I can't say I'm a fan, and his dad was a pastor growing up, and I remember I like played sports with this guy, and one time he was hosting like a 2-on-2 tournament at his house. a basketball tournament. They had like a pretty nice setup, and his dad came out after the second 2-on-2 game to make us all pray in his fucking front yard, like
So
on the
much,
pavement.
you
I'm
know?
like, dude, like I don't believe in. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to be a dick, but I'm like, this is not for me. I came here to we put money on it. Like, we're gambling.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah, right.
there's hundreds of dollars being exchanged right now, and I gotta drop to a knee and pray. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, this is
going
kind of
on?
random, but were you in the Boy Scouts growing up?
No, I wasn't. I'm
I-
scared for what you're gonna say.
That's a fair. No, I had this like weird realization when I was camping one time because we were camping across from the Boy Scouts. I was at a group campsite, and it was just a weird perspective to like wake up and see them. Cause like I'm there to party with like a bunch of 20-something-year-old people who are just like we're just getting shit faced and like hiking around and having fun, you know. And it's
Yeah.
like a little like getaway trip for us all. And then there's the Boy Scouts like directly across the street, and it was just like a bunch of really old people leading them, and it just felt like they were like a cult in a way. I don't know,
Yeah.
I got culty vibes from them.
I
Like,
mean, yeah,
the
that's,
flags that they raised up and they all stood there, and so I was like, this is weird. You guys are like 8.
that's
you
good
know?
intuition, because I think the Boy Scouts as an organization is like tanked completely. Like, they're getting sued by a million
Really?
different people. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: you were there to party with young people, right? As a
Mhm.
young person yourself,
yeah.
those old men that you saw, they were there to party with younger
Young
people.
people.
Younger people,
There
man.
was some,
They were.
There's some weird looking individuals, and I was just like, what is this right now?
Yeah,
So,
they were not just teaching them how to tie knots, dude. It's sad. It's really depressing.
I don't
when you
even.
think about it.
I'm laughing because it's.
'Cause
it's
yeah, no,
tough.
I'm
It's
laughing
like,
too,
what
bro.
else do you
It's-
do? It's
Yeah,
like, I
it's
don't-
terrible. But yeah, no, I believe the Boy Scouts organization, and actually, that's not even controversial. There's tons of articles. If you look it up, Boy Scouts,
Damn,
like sexual assault, like
I was on to something
so
there.
many
Yeah.
people, so many people have been assaulted.
Even
Yeah.
even just looking at him, I was like, something
It
weird's
just
going
didn't
on.
look fun to me either.
No,
like,
yeah.
no, I mean, no offense. Like, I did some church stuff growing up too, not a bunch, but like that was not fun for me. Like being around that.
I totally.
And I didn't get
it.
to do the music thing. That would have been a little bit more fun if I would have
Yeah.
got to like be a part of something like that. But like I was like, this was lame. And then I remember like the other thing you could do that wasn't a sport was fucking Boy Scouts. I
Yeah,
remember
right.
like going to like the first meeting. Like they had like a meeting in like 4th or 5th grade where they were like, hey, if you guys are interested, come to this thing. All my friends were going. So I'm like, I'll check it out. I'll hear
Yeah,
these
right.
guys out.
Right.
And they started just describing it. And I'm like, this sounds
it's not for
boring
me.
as fuck, dude. They're like, it's not all about building fires and doing whatever. We're also gonna, we're gonna teach you how to fold a flag, and we're gonna teach you how to stand with the flag, and we're gonna
What
teach
the
you how to
fuck?
kiss the flag. I don't fucking care, bro.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'll stand for the
That
fucking
was what I
national
took away
anthem.
from it. I was like, what are all these flags up here?
What?
Why
I don't-
is
why
this
do-
shit so official?
I
Yeah.
know, and think about it. Like, the girls have cookies. What do the guys have? Sexual assault. That's it. Like, the girls lucked out. They got fire cookies, and we just got pedophiles. So like, I don't know. That Boy Scouts really dropped the ball with that
Yeah.
one.
They got knots.
Yeah, they
They're
do.
fucked up.
Yeah, it just didn't work. Me immediately Googling Boy Scouts. Yeah, check it out. Try to strike a chord. Try to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. I got
Yeah.
you, Michael. All right, so kind of pivoting a little bit, man. Are you gonna get out and vote? Or
Yeah,
did you vote already?
I voted already.
Hell
Yep.
yeah,
I
same
did the
here.
early voting Friday. That
Hell
was like
yeah.
the last day of registration and everything. So.
Excellent.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
trying to, sometimes I feel like a lot of artists will, especially, I've had people on the show where like I've kind of brought up like jokes about different political figures, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
yo, bro, I'm not trying to, and I'm like, okay,
I'm not trying to
that's
speak
fine.
on too many things.
That's
yeah.
fine. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna put that on your brand or whatever. But I will say, like, it's cool talking to an artist, knowing that you voted already. That's great. I hope any other artists, because I'm sure you're probably tapped in with other artists, if they check this out,
Yeah, right.
go vote, guys. Go vote. It's by the time you'll be seeing this, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah.
It is the day of.
I
so
got
if you
reached
haven't
out to
voted,
before the election, like to do like kind of a campaign thing where I was like promoting to vote, and it
Oh,
wasn't even
yeah.
about like to vote for a specific party. It was
you
just
just
like
go out and
tell
do
people to go vote, give them information around it. And I said no because I felt like weird about it. I felt like, oh, I don't know if I want to step into that realm, but it is like it almost feels silly because it's like, once again, I'm just providing information. It's not like I'm telling anybody to make
Yeah.
any sort of decisions. It's just
Yeah.
like it's important
it. Yeah.
that you know.
Yeah, I think I've posted
So-
about. I've done like my own mini things like every year because I just think you should. I
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you're gonna vote for the one that I don't want, sure, stay at home, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Joking, in a joking manner, but realistically, like, you should just go out and vote. And the people, I know some people will say like, oh, I'm not voting because neither person is great or the system is rigged or whatever. I'm gonna sit this one out. But it's like,
tough,
dude, I know it is, but like you're not actually like saying anything. Like you not voting doesn't hurt those candidates or the system at all. It just shrinks the pool. So then the people that if I'm hearing them right, they're saying people that are voting maybe passionately one side or the other are nut jobs, right? You're like, oh, these people believe this so extreme. I can't get behind that. And these guys are so extreme. I can't get behind that. So I'm not going to vote. But it's like, dude, you not voting literally makes those people's opinions louder, right. Have more value because there's less total votes now. So I just think, I mean, be an adult and make a decision.
It feels a lot of times like the lesser of two evils for sure.
But
at the same time, it's like that's, once again, it is the systems that are in place right now that I currently don't have the power to like completely control.
Yeah.
If we, somehow figure out as a population how to come together and make it happen, then awesome. But like,
just get one person
right
in
now
there.
Yeah, just focus on what you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like if the goal is to get over here, right, and in your eyes one candidate brings you further this way, and one even inches you this way, then you should just take
it's
the
a
inch.
no-brainer.
You take at least the 1 inch.
Exactly.
You go back the other way. I don't get it. We just got to get money out of politics, then we get better choices. That's the biggest thing. What else is going on, man? Anything else that we haven't touched on yet today that you did want to get to? Top of mind, any questions for myself, or we got some people in the live chat here
I'm
too.
playing my first show at the Rave actually on the 13th as well, next Wednesday. Opening up for an artist, Livingston. I was gonna say Lexington because it sounds like a city. Livingston is the artist name though. And I'm gonna be opening up the show at the Rave 2. It's gonna be my first time there, so I'm really excited to be a part of that.
It's a cool venue, man.
Yeah, no, it feels like a step up for sure. So I'm excited to be there, see the pool.
Yeah.
Where Mac Miller lives, his soul lies. I don't know why he chose the pool in Milwaukee. I was talking to someone about that before, but
I wonder what that's about. Where's he from originally? Do you know? Does anyone know?
I mean, I'm probably wrong, but I feel like
guy.
I thought it was like Pittsburgh or something, but maybe I'm completely wrong. I have no clue.
Because he feels like a Midwest, just like, I don't know, like, I mean,
let's
Pittsburgh,
freaking go.
Yeah, good.
Let's
Hell
go.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, Pittsburgh, absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see that. I don't know why he chose though that pool in Milwaukee. If he's from Pittsburgh of all places, maybe it was a big show.
Yeah, I think he sold the ballroom out like 4 times. I thought.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why he was just like, this is the
he's
spot.
Like, Milwaukee loves me. Yeah. Dude, that's like it's interesting. Like the artists that are specifically huge in Wisconsin, like T-Pain, for instance. He has his whole Wisconsin Fest, but like T-Pain is huge in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's a big artist, national, worldwide artist.
Is
but
it
he's
just because of that line too? Pretty much.
Dude, I think so.
I think so, right?
And it's so
that's
weird.
Crazy.
Too, like, so like if you just say Wisconsin in a song and you're a big artist, like we will love you because we just get no love. So we're like, fuck yeah.
Like Lil Wayne, like repping the Packers.
Yeah,
like, everybody's like,
people love him.
Yeah.
People. He's got the green and yellow song, doesn't he? He has like a remix to Black and Yellow. And speaking of, Wiz Khalifa's huge in Wisconsin. Like I think it's like if you're not, you either have to shout out Wisconsin or our sports teams, or you have to be like a stoner rapper, like. Because Wiz Khalifa's huge. Juicy J is huge. Like that.
Snoop Dogg just played at the the casino.
Yeah,
right?
at Potawatomi.
Yeah, a random pop up.
Well, and then like you think about like even like all those like I'm trying to think what are some of their names? I can't off the top of my head. Like some of that like underground, like not. I mean, Tech Nine's big in the Midwest for sure, but he's not like a weed guy. But like all of the people like kind of adjacent to him that are like stoner rappers. I'm trying to think of their names. Like Dizzy Wright, I know was big.
Oh, Dizzy Wright in high school. I feel like I was a lot.
I liked his shit. Yeah, but he like guys like that. I mean,
even like Kid Cudi.
When he was in like his very much I'm just talking about smoking weed era was like massive, dude.
That's crazy.
Some of those like white rappers that were about like
G-Eazy
Astor Roth, G-Eazy, like guys just like did a bunch of. I mean, they were big everywhere, but specifically, I felt like really big in the Midwest.
That is crazy because it's almost like being from here, you get like funneled a certain music because of it.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Were you into any underground artists growing up? Like any? Were you more of a mainstream?
I don't know. I guess like I listened to a lot of like John Mayer was like one of those first like aha moments in music when I was like younger and I heard a song. I heard Gravity by John Mayer. I remember it was like in art class and I was like, what is this? Like somebody tell me. And I didn't know the song name. I asked him, who is this? And he said John Mayer. And I went home and I Googled John Mayer songs, and I didn't know he had like 10 albums out.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to find gravity amongst all of that, and I found it after 2 hours. So, but other than that, I mean, like, dude, growing up in Christian household, like I listened to like Lecrae, which is
I
like
remember Lecrae,
Christian rapper.
Yeah.
Man, I think that Kendrick just referenced Lecrae.
Did he?
In one of his Drake disses. I think he
Really?
said some shit about Lecrae, and I was like, yo, what the fuck?
That's hilarious. Yeah.
He's bringing it back.
Yeah, I knew some church. I mean, I think I have one Lecrae song on my phone, and I think I know a lot of kids that like were big into Lecrae. They were church guys, but like Lecrae was there.
I was like a big pop kid, and maybe that's just because like since I grew up in church, I wasn't allowed to listen to like certain music or like just certain context of music.
Yeah.
So like a lot of R&B was off the table naturally because it was very sexual. So like my parents like just don't listen to that.
So who did you listen to pop wise then? Was it like
I mean
listen to Fergie and
honestly I wish.
Okay, not Fergie, that was too sexual probably.
No, it was like my parents played like 92.5, which was like a West Bend radio station. It was playing like Carrie Underwood and like Kelly Clarkson.
Bangers, both of them.
Yeah, like lots of good music. My mom's a big Swiftie, so a lot of Taylor Swift.
Okay, yeah.
And of course, like Justin Bieber was acceptable, but I think like I didn't really listen to Drake or anything like that. And I first listened to Drake.
You didn't grow up on any Eminem
own.
either.
No Eminem.
Do you like Eminem now? Do you like enjoy any of Eminem's stuff? Because it's interesting. I grew up on Eminem. A lot of my friends that are like artists that like grew up with Eminem, like I love a lot of his old stuff. Like it has a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean, with any artist, you're not gonna be a fan of every single thing they put out.
Yeah, right.
But I know some people that like just didn't grow up with Eminem, like can't stand it.
Really? No, I don't. I respect Eminem a lot. Like I think that he's got a lot of really good songs that are out. Like you said, it's not like everything hit. Yeah. I think that it like obviously everybody has a certain opinion about like his music now that he keeps dropping or something, because I feel like a lot of people think it's like gimmicky or he's playing to this like same sound, which is fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. I think it has its place. I think that nowadays it's not as popular. Yeah. But I think that like at the time he was like doing some crazy shit nobody had ever done before. And not to mention like the battle rapping that went along with it and everything. Yeah. He's truly a legend when it comes down to it, and just came from a whole different like type of environment of how you had to make it. Yeah. You know, definitely. Like the route that he took was
very Yeah. That doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. That way. Yeah. No, it's interesting. I'm just curious because I've talked to some people that like just didn't listen to him growing up, and they are like, this is not music. And I'm like, no, dude, this is Eminem. Like, this is classic Eminem. And they're like, fuck this, get this out of my ear.
Like, that's fire.
I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
and they're like, no. Fire. And I'm like, okay. So I was curious if someone's never heard it, like if they didn't hear it growing up.
I remember hearing it growing up and kind of almost feeling like, what's all the hype about? Mm-hmm. Because I was hearing little remnant pieces. I wasn't necessarily being put on to like, here's the best songs of Eminem right now. You know, I kind of found some of those later. Like I didn't even listen to Kanye for the longest time. And when I finally dove into Kanye, it was like
blow your mind a little bit?
4 or 5 years ago I dove into Kanye more, and I was like
4 years ago.
I was like, what is this? I'd heard Kanye. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Of course, yeah. Everybody's heard Kanye.
You heard All the Lights. Yeah, you'd heard it.
Yeah, I grew up on that song, and I remember when that came out, I was like super big on it, but I didn't really know who he was to that extent. Like I just didn't understand it on that degree because I was so far removed from like that world, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, like finding Kanye was just like,
hilarious.
This is crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I think that's what's crazy about now, like with, I mean, specifically, like you had a very like specific household experience, like growing up in that kind of household where you're going to be maybe not exposed to some of these things in the same capacity that other people are, right? But even today, like I think now, like finding new artists and even some of these older artists, like because there's just so much and there's a lot less, like think about it, you were maybe getting to hear All the Lights because it was on the radio. Yeah, right. But like now, like kids aren't even listening to the radio. Their mom or dad's driving them to school in the morning. They got they're plugging their own phone in. Like you're listening to whatever mom or dad has,
or they're in their AirPods or something.
Or their AirPods, right? So it's like you're not even listening to the radio. You're listening to your own songs you picked out on Spotify. So I can't imagine like how cool it will be in years to come, where like maybe Kanye is less relevant and some kid just like stumbles on it. It is like,
it's like
holy
old
shit,
dusty vinyl. Like
My Dark Twisted Fantasy is like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
holy it's crazy. Because, like, I listened to, if you're familiar with, like, John Bellion.
Yeah.
A lot of John Bellion in high school, because I feel like he was like that, like, he was, like, similar to Kanye in the sense that he's, like, this producer, songwriter, visionary person that's, like, kind of paving his way, and still to this day is like paving the way in pop music a lot. It was like
sometimes I watch his videos of him producing music, and it makes me want to not do music anymore.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit, this man is a genius. Yeah.
No, literally, I'm like, I have no business stepping foot into a studio watching what this guy just did.
I feel like, he was almost like that more PG version of Kanye in a way.
Production-wise, for sure.
So I latched on to that a lot in high school. But
yeah, dude, John Bellion's got some bangers, bro.
He's crazy. Yeah, he came to Summerfest one year. I don't know if you were around for that. If you're in the area, it was like 2018 or something. I remember going and seeing him.
That's cool.
But he's got a video out. You should check it out. Or any artists who are up and coming, looking for wisdom. It's like him on his return. I don't know if you've seen it.
Because he's coming back, right? Yeah, I've seen that.
So he's coming back, and it was like a 2-hour podcast of him just kind of talking about why he took a break and the journey and getting back to it mentally and everything. And it was really good for me to hear as an artist, honestly, of like, you just got to trust the process is what I got out of it. You know, it's a grind. This man has been through a hell and back in the music industry, and he just loves it at the end of the day. He just loves making music.
Yeah, dude. And when you watch him, you can tell. And I mean, I remember the first time I heard Guillotine, bro. Like, and I know that's like the big pop record from like that album or whatever. But like that song, like that like blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, it's like pop. It's like a little bit of EDM in there, like with the drop, and like it just everything, man.
He's who really inspired me to kind of be a little bit more outside the box when it came to pop music. Not to say that I'm trying to get away from that, but I feel like I like went really far with it for a while. But it was just because like he was just doing such cool things. Another artist like Breakins. I don't know if you've ever heard of Breakins.
I've talked about him on this podcast. He makes me want to quit music.
Yeah, he makes some. It's like, why am I looking up to people who are like 20? You know, 21 years old.
Hypochondriac is probably. I don't even. This might be embarrassing to admit. I do not have Hypochondriac saved on my phone because the album is too good.
Really? I have the CD, and I've listened to it.
I can't, dude.
So many times.
I listen to that whole album front to back. If I listen to a song, I have to listen to the whole album. I can't listen to the album because I'm like, I seriously like had like a 3-month period where I just refused to write music because I was like, I can't make anything this good.
He's. I want to see what he does next because I'm like, Hypochondriac was nuts.
So good.
Like, I already knew when he dropped Punk 2, he was already headed. I was telling everybody, I was like, this kid's on to something. Like, we should check him out. We went and saw him in concert. And when we saw him in concert, it was the Hypochondriac tour. Like, it was like a week before the album dropped.
Yeah.
And he played like most of the album in Chicago, if not the whole thing. And that was like because he is really good performing. He sounds phenomenal. His vocals are great. He comes through. He's got a good stage presence. So it was just like, damn, he's the real deal. It's like, have you ever gone and seen an artist that you really like as someone who performs music and been really disappointed in the performance and been like, damn, that was a shit performance.
That was lazy. Yeah.
That was lazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I came here for an experience and I wanted to connect with you on some sort of level.
Yeah.
I didn't feel shit, you know?
Yeah, dude, definitely. I don't want to throw anybody. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. Who is somebody that I saw? I've definitely had that thought though, where I'm like, oh, this is it. Oh, I mean, the Drake show, Drake's a phenomenal performer. I did think, I noticed the levels to performance when 21 came out as the special guest, 21 Savage. Still, I mean, he's got a dope voice. He's fun. His songs are fun. But, like, the level of energy compared to Drake, who was just, like, runner. Like, Drake understands. He's a showman. Like, he's like, I'm here to put on a show for you.
Yeah, right.
21 came out, and he's like, I mean, he's 21 Savage. Like,
he's just
a lot less energy.
With it a little bit.
A lot less. And not to say that it's bad, but I was definitely like, oh man, like, I don't know what I was hoping from 21 Savage, but I was like, damn, I guess that was kind of that was it.
I saw, and I think that he performs really good. I think I just saw maybe a little bit more of an off performance. It was Dominic Fike, because I love Dominic Fike.
Oh yeah,
I think and I've seen him perform. I've seen live videos of him performing, and they're great.
Yeah.
But, like, he was doing a college pop-up in Arkansas, and I was in Arkansas visiting my friend for whatever reason, and it was at the university. So we went over there, and it was just more so, like me, I really focus on trying to, like, keep the energy flowing. Because, like, for me, when music just cuts out and it's just, like, silence, that, like, kills the vibe a little bit, you know? Yeah. And when it's like that in between every single song, for me, I feel like you're not, like, always doing your job as a performer because you're not, like, keeping the show moving in some sort of way.
Even if the music has to stop, like, keeping their attention.
So have something to say or a joke or just something already, like, even if it's half prep, just have something in your pocket to fill the space to make it feel like it flows, not just kind of be like, okay, that was that one. So this next one, how are you guys doing? It's like, damn, you've asked me how I'm doing 5 times this point, you know. So, and he's just an example. I don't mean to like shit on him because I think that he's a great performer. But like when that happens with artists, I'm like, you could have done a little more. You know,
it's definitely kind of lame, especially when someone you're like really excited.
You don't know what they're going through too, though. Like if they're like have just been on the road for a lot of shows too, and I don't know. But
I'm sure it's hard. Yeah, I think my like the people pleasing nature of myself, like no matter what I would have to. And I don't know, I've never been in his position, but you know, I think I would have to like try to show out for other people.
Yeah, right.
Which I think that helps as a performer. It's interesting you saw Break-Ins right before that album came out. I saw Black Bear the day before Digital Drug Lord came out, which is like kind of like his best album, I think, and a lot of people think. And I just remember he performed like 2 or 3 songs off that, and he's like, the best album I ever made is coming out tomorrow. And I saw him in Madison, and it was like, I remember hearing those songs, being like, my mind was blown. And then the next day, the album came out, and I was like, he was not fucking lying, dude. Like, this is amazing. And that's a cool feeling, dude. To be there right before.
It is tough though when like the artists are like Break-Ins is so young, and I'm like, damn, because I'm 26.
Yeah.
And then he's like barely turning 21, and he's like going up. I'm like, damn. It almost makes it like, am I not doing enough? But no, everybody's got a different path, different trajectory. He's just been cooking for a while. So
do you ever find do you ever try to find somebody that maybe is your age or older that's when they made it, to like give you that, because that's the issue, right? We compare ourselves where we're like, oh, Break-Ins is huge. Like Olivia Rodrigo's doing stadiums, man. Yeah, right. She's 22
or
years
Justin
old.
Bieber, was young.
Tate McRae or whoever, like, right? All these people are like
Kid Leroy and shit. Yeah.
That's when you realize you're old. Like when you're, because in my mind, I'm still the same age as these
all
pop
these
stars.
people. Same, and I'm like, damn.
It's like, no, I'm not the same age as the new pop stars anymore.
Yeah,
I was when I was 6 years ago, but I'm not anymore. I'm 26 now, same as you. So it's like, I remember when I was like 22, and obviously, you know, things that we're not selling out stadiums or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I remember like being like, all right, who didn't make it until they were 24 or 25?
I think G-Eazy was a person who gave me a little bit of perspective on that, because he talked about like not making it till he's like 27 or 30 or some shit like that. So
shit.
I don't know. Yeah.
Look at I'm a big fan of Russ, and he didn't make it till he was like 24, 25. And I think, and even then when he like first had his initial pop up, like he was making enough to like live, but he wasn't like some massive name yet, like he kind of is now.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to think who else like blew up really late. There's plenty of examples. I mean, Chappell Roan, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
She just blew up, and she's like, I think she's our age.
She said it was going to be her last project, I think. She's like, she said before, I thought I saw something, and maybe I could be wrong, but it was like, hey, if like this is it, I'm just going to put out this project, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, I'm kind of done at this point. And it blew the fuck up, as we all know, which is crazy. That's so cool to be able to like put that in the universe. And maybe it was the pressure of that, of her being like, this is my last
she
bang.
Put it all out there.
Let me go
it's
for it.
It's that good.
Yeah.
You know, it is that fucking, like you hear those songs, like, I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of like Hot to Go or anything like that. I think that one's a little silly, but like, dude, that, I mean, sometimes you hear some of the songs off that album, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to think that you see the videos of her performing for like 30 people at some random festival to doing like thousands of people now. Like, it's that's insane. Mean, that's inspiring.
Yeah,
that's inspiring.
She's going hard with it too, with all the, like, she's behind like the costumes and all, just everything too. So it's just a lot of work, a lot of love, a lot of heart.
The vision 100%.
Yeah.
Let's see. Leslie says Dead Roses is better. I actually, you know what? I could agree with that. That's a fair argument. Dead Roses and Digital Drug Lord, those are like, I'd say those are neck and neck.
I think that's my wife.
Leslie Emrich. Yeah.
Are
you a fan of Black Bear? I feel like
I haven't listened to a lot of Black Bear, honestly. Like,
really? I could feel
my wife is a very big Black Bear fan, and I haven't really dove into the discography that much.
Dude, I think based off your music, I do think you would enjoy it.
Because I listen to a lot of like Jeremy Zucker and like Dominic
those guys
Fike and all these people.
I love
it's
Zucker.
Like, so I just haven't. I don't know why I didn't get around to him. It's too busy making music and shit. I'm not listening to enough music. That's the problem.
Listen to Dead Roses. Dude, he did Dead Roses, then he did Dead, which is like the acoustic of that, and he had, there's like 1 or 2 new songs on that. Super good, dude. Like, I definitely, there's like some similarities between kind of the style wise of what you guys do. And then Digital Drug Lord came out, and I think Cyber Sex was like the album after that was great, and then after that he had other albums, but I wasn't a big fan other than Mansions. Mansions is really good. Mansions is really good. Anything else before we wrap today, man? We kind of went all over the place, I feel like.
Yeah. Milwaukee's a beautiful city to live in.
Love Milwaukee. No sirens this time.
No sirens this time.
No home invasion.
Yeah, got some shows coming up, wrapping up the year. Got new music dropping next year. A couple of covers to finish out this year, and that's about it. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for having me, too.
Yeah, appreciate you making the time to come out here and be on the show, dude. Just pleasure talking with you. I'm a big fan of the music, so I hope, to see more and more success with that.
Of course, thank you. Yeah.
Also want to say a quick shout out to everybody who tuned in live, as well as those people that are going to be listening days after over on Spotify or here on YouTube. Want to also say a quick shout out to our patrons, be up on the screen right now. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you guys are interested in getting behind the scenes access to extra videos, extra podcasts, as well as a series where I break down how I mix, master, write, record every single one of my songs, go to patreon.com/Darren Rita. You can help support the channel for as little as $1. Also want to say a quick shout out to Alpine House 2 for sponsoring another episode of the podcast. That's at Alpine House 2 on Instagram. Shout out to them for sponsoring another episode of the show. And with all that good stuff out of the way, this has been the 279th episode of the Detox Podcast. I will see you guys next week.